So what is the doctrine of deification? Most succinctly, the doctrine is expressed by the patristic exchange formula. The exchange formula comes in a variety of forms, such as God became man, that men may become gods, or he became what we are, that we might become what he is. And the first thing to note is that the Greek word for God, theos, begins its history as an attributive term, not as a substantive. There was a different Greek word for God that theos replaced. Theos begins as a term that you would use for things like, look at that sunset. Isn't it theos? Or somebody sings a sublimely beautiful song and you say, oh, that was theos. If you look at the New Testament in light of the broad range of meaning that the word theos has, it quickly becomes apparent why second century Christians would feel very comfortable talking about the goal of redemption or salvation in terms of becoming theos, or theoi in the plural. And yet they would not be saying you become a deity or an object of worship, and certainly not saying that you merge into the one God, but that you are a human being who has been raised such that you have properties of immortality, incorruptibility, and glory that properly are God's, but which he is sharing with those he redeems. They were also comfortable with this language because of Psalm 82:6, which says, behold, I said you are gods, and in the Greek translation, of course that's theoi, sons of the Most High, all of you. And the second century church fathers understood this psalm to be a declaration of sorts that God had made to Adam and Eve in the garden about their potential for becoming immortal, that he had said again to Israel at Mount Sinai, and that would be fulfilled finally in the Messianic age. And the important bit for them was this idea of becoming sons of the Most High. But in the psalm, sons of the Most High and gods are synonymously parallel. So in their mind, they look at this psalm and they see it as a prediction of sorts of what Paul talks about when he talks about adoption to divine sonship, or what John talks about when he speaks of those who are redeemed in Christ being begotten again and made children of God. And so they say, well, if we are to be made sons of God or children of God, and that's the same thing in the psalm as being theoi, then this is appropriate Christian language to use. So the doctrine of deification has often been characterized as a distinctively Eastern Christian doctrine, taught by the Greek church fathers and in contemporary Eastern Orthodoxy. But this isn't actually correct. The doctrine of deification is actually quite well attested in Latin church fathers as well as the Greek church fathers, and throughout the medieval Latin tradition, and through at least the second generation of the Reformation. So deification really is an ecumenical doctrine of the church held in common by Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholics, and Protestants.